Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello and welcome. We will continue our discussion on business model canvas. We will start talking about the business model canvas per se, and then discuss the pros and cons of the model, and then we will end the discussion with an illustration of the business model of Airbnb. So, as we discussed, the business model canvas can be thought of as two sections. On the left are the blocks through which blocks containing the items through which we create the value. On the right, there are items where we deliver the value, how we deliver, whom we deliver, and then in the process we create revenue, meaning we get the revenue, and the revenue should be more than the cost that we incur. So, the canvas in a nutshell provides a bird's eye view about the total activities of the business through which we create a competitive value proposition to our customers, we define our customers, and we have an idea as to what our cost structure is and how the revenue model is. Eventually, we try to project what kind of profitability the business is going to provide, and whether investors are going to get back their money in the process. Now, while discussing the pros and cons, we have to really make a comparison between the traditional business model, which consists of number of pages of document. Vis-a-vis, we have the single page business model canvas or BMC. The number of pages of a business model can run into maybe 20, 25, 30 or 100, whereas BMC is always single page. BMC provides a holistic picture about a business. So, one can get a bird's eye view about all the aspects of the business and form an early opinion, whereas for anybody like an investor has to really go through number of pages, maybe 100 pages to really get a grip on the total business model. In a world where angels or any other investors are flooded with business plans, submitting a bulky business model is really not wise, because nobody will find the time to sift through those pages and come up with a conclusion of whether to fund or not to fund. Whereas the business model canvas gives a holistic view in front of the investors in one single page, and they can get some idea, not complete idea, but some idea whether a business model deserves further attention. So, once that is done, your business plan is selected, and then they will go for further evaluation. So, almost whole business model is on page, and angels or any other can identify value in the business, and people can actually, members like team members can identify possible value addition and contribution. They can look at it whether it's regarding value proposition, customer relation, or cost structure or revenue model. Anything that comes to their mind, they can come and update. So, it can actually be made a dynamic document from a single kind of a snapshot or a static document. It can actually be made a dynamic document, meaning that you can continue to modify, and as the business model emerges through various activities, early stage activities. So, first point is that it is easily maneuverable because it is a single page. Then rather than putting a static page, you can also put sticky notes and in different blocks. Suppose it is kind of a large canvas and then it is pasted on a board or something, so that everybody in the team can do brainstorming themselves, and then whatever ideas they may come up with, they can remove the sticky note from there and put another sticky note. So, it becomes a dynamic document, it continues to change. Suppose you build a minimum viable product, which is kind of a very simple product with key features that define your value proposition. So, you take it to the customer, some early customers, early adopters, and then they say that this product is good and it can be made even better, and you can provide more value eventually. So, you can come back and revise your value proposition depending on the feedback that you receive, or maybe depending on the suggestions. Customers actually may come up with better suggestions than the product originally was conceived as. So, the product may emerge actually better. So, continuously you can keep on updating the canvas depending on your understanding about the whole business model. So, it becomes a dynamic document. It helps focusing on core business areas. Wherever you want to focus, you can actually focus. The canvas encourages experimentation. So, you are not stuck with first available plan. So, business model normally is a static document like a book or something, whereas canvas is a dynamic document. You can continue to modify. So, people will do experiment, they will come up with some idea and then put a sticky note or some point in writing, then other team members can evaluate them or do brainstorming and then eventually modify that. So, it becomes a floor for experimentation rather than a static canvas. Limitation or say cons. Normally people say that economic, social and environmental values are not presented in the canvas. So, some people actually have come up with the idea of a 11 block canvas. In one block they talk about economic benefits, in another block they talk about social and environmental values. The risk associated with a business is not well articulated, like say competition, for example. Say Porter's 5 forces analysis gives a holistic idea about the whole competitive landscape, which is missing here. Normally in business model canvas, what we try to focus on is the value proposition, the positive ones. What customer relationships we are going to build, what kind of customers we are going to target, through what channels we are going to give convenience to the customer to access our service, to know, get to know and then take our service. So, we focus on all these points which are normally positive. So, normally we do not talk about competition and then risk associated, etc. So, that is another part of the cons. It lacks scenario analysis, like say what if scenario or alternative business possibilities, like say you have decided about a product and a particular market segment. Say for example, you want to manufacture cell phone, now say smartphones. Now, you may actually target the top end of the market, or say the bottom end of the market, or middle segment of the market. So, if you want to make a comparative analysis about your value proposition to the top end, middle or bottom, and then what kind of money you are going to make, or what kind of customer relationship, sustainability of your business or sustainability of the relationship, what kind of story you are going to tell, do you have a story that will resonate with customers, etc., etc. So, depending on situation, you cannot actually modify the canvas, that is what people say. But then as I said earlier, that canvas can actually made dynamic, meaning that you can have 3 alternative canvases and then deliberate on all the 3 and then discard 1 or discard 2 and then retain 1. So, everything is possible. Tracking validation on the way moving forward. So, while you do all that, you can actually track whether customers are validating your hypothesis. If not, you can always modify your canvas, meaning that if you are putting some piece of paper that can be removed and repasted, or whatever way you can actually modify. So, you you can track the validation by customers. These are pros and cons. Now, what the reality actually is, meaning the middle path, there will always be some criticism and there will always be some exaggeration about the pros. But then the reality is that the canvas may be a static checklist, but one must make it dynamic by constantly striving to update with evolving new strategies and reinventing the business model. That is what I have been telling so far, that it can be made a dynamic document, dynamic canvas, and whatever insights you get while moving forward, you can always update. So, eventually you always have an updated canvas. So, it need not be, it should not be a canvas meant for good, and then you just revisit that, not revisit meaning you do not change it, you just look at it once in a while. That serves no purpose. That is not what the business model canvas is supposed to be. Business model canvas is a dynamic one, and you should continuously modify as you move forward. It needs to be used in conjunction with other tools, such as say lean startup philosophy or lean product development philosophy. That means you continuously get customer validation, and if you decide that customers are not okay with some features, eliminate that and you revise the same thing in your business model canvas. Like say customers are not interested in some features, they are interested in something else. Now, your cost structure may modify, your revenue structure may modify, because you may have more value, less value or whatever. So, suppose you reduce the cost and your revenue model also is kind of means your selling price also is reduced, that may be another model. So, your canvas will be updated accordingly. Your objective is to make the business strategies superior over time, so that you remain at the front. So, accordingly you should modify the business model. So, you update the canvas regularly, making it once and not revisiting is a pitfall that many people are subjected to. So, we should be careful about that. Use the canvas to know your weaknesses first, so that you can identify where you need to focus. You eliminate the weaknesses and you have a better business model. So, gradually build the model to strengthen your value proposition. You can use it to identify the opportunities, maybe number of opportunities, and then pick up the ones which is most promising. Maybe you have 5 business model canvases and continuously try to evaluate which one is better, and then take the most promising one. And then as you validate step by step, you can also discard some and keep some. Many companies actually became successful by inventing the business model rather than producing some new product. So, business model canvas helps you to invent new business model, because it provides your weaknesses, it provides your strengths, and then it helps you to identify the winning business model, so that you can continuously strive to remain ahead of competition, preempt the competition. The canvas should be used for iterative product development. We update the canvas as we move forward. The canvas tells us how competitive we are emerging on our way. Revisit the canvas regularly, learn from validation. As for example, minimum viable products, then market research. From market research you may get new data. That data may indicate that your business is much better than you thought or worse than you thought. So, depending on that, the changing business environment, you can modify. The canvas should not be treated as a linear snapshot. Competitor analysis, regulatory environment, social trends or liquidity planning and many more may not be there in the business model, but you should incorporate that, so that the model per se, the BMC per se is an holistic document, and it independently talks about all that. Business model canvas should always start with the value proposition canvas, because that is a central deliverable of your business, and that will define the sustainability of your business. It hones in on core of your product or service. This is where all your design thinking, customer development and lean startup comes in. Be aware of what purpose the business model canvas usually do not serve. but have the potential to serve. So, we incorporate that. It is not necessary whatever has been recommended, we just follow that blindly, like scenario analysis is not there, but you can incorporate. We can incorporate validation tracking or storytelling, that will help us to use this tool for the best benefit. Now, coming to Airbnb, Airbnb is pioneer in collaborative consumption, facilitating collaborative consumption, because here people collaborate, like homeowners, different homeowners and the company and the customer, they are in a collaborative relationship. Customers or guests or travelers, they get a cheaper stay and a wonderful experience, almost like they belong to this place, it is almost like their own house. So, through this process everybody is benefited, like it is almost like the philosophy of lean startup, that you cut unwanted expenses. So, you can distribute that savings to everybody, to customers, to the company, to the employees. You can give more salary, you can give cheaper product to the customer, and you can have more profit through that saving. Here it is almost like aggregation, but then it depends on the collaborative philosophy of the whole business model. So, Airbnb offers homeowners around the world to list their space for travelers. So, travelers can see what properties are available at wherever they can go and stay at what rate. Airbnb also gives people all around the world to book these spaces through mobile phones or the internet. It offers list of verified hosts who are good, who are not so good, then provides a private messaging system and an user recommendation feature, so that automatically the homeowners get listed, that get evaluated as regards to their behavior, to their kind of hospitality, level of hospitality that they are providing. Guests pay after the reservation has been made using secure payment system. The company captures and promises security and reliability based on customers' review and rating. So, when you as a traveler, you are booking an temporary accommodation in any of the Airbnb property, two things you are guaranteed. One is security, that is based on customers' review, you know that this guest is trustable and they are nice people to be with, number one. Number two, your payment also is secured and you get a competitive rate. It is highly cheaper compared to similar quality hotels, maybe star hotels. So, you get, means everybody is get benefited. It is value for your money, you save money, and then homeowners have some free space. They do not use that space ordinarily, or they use it for a non-economic renting purposes. Maybe they rent it out to some people on a permanent basis, but that rent may be smaller. Airbnb, they connect these people and give this benefit. The whole cost structure comes down and all the three people share that saving. So, suppose your cost was 5,000 rupees a night, that comes down to maybe 2,000 rupees, that is shared between. So, you get profit. The homeowners perhaps used to earn maybe 500 rupees a night, now they earn 2,000 rupees, and there is the company. So, this 1,500 rupees is shared between many people. It offers additionally insurance of the host. So, that home is insured, so that if some customer does some mischief or something, it is saved, it is insured. Now, how the business model is continuing the business model. There are good people and there are bad, not so good people. So, some people may actually behave rudely with either the host, or some host may be rude to the guests. So, there is always a chance. So, that is why there is this rating, and you may avoid rude people, you may actually get access to nice people through the rating system, through peer-to-peer review. So, a customer, one traveler gives a review, another traveler gets that review. So, they get to help each other. Some homeowners are likely to be so friendly that guests will feel it's a home away from home, and will feel nostalgic after the tour. They will come back and they will think that there is a wonderful family to spend time with, we would like to go again. So, in the process Airbnb actually gets a loyal customer base, and their brand creates increasing amount of value for the company. The host monetize surplus space and may create lasting relationship with some extra gentle families. Means if there are more gentle families, more friendly families, then the host actually can create a long term relationship. Travelers get a huge choices. Airbnb has more than 1.5 million properties in 34,000 cities and in 190 countries. So, imagine if you want some accommodation somewhere, Airbnb is the answer. Airbnb does not incur cost of maintenance. They do not have to really create any property, acquire any property, maintain that or clean or renovate or whatever. They do not have to really go to regulators for each and every asset. They do have to go for their own business purposes, but not for individual properties, staffs and cleaning. Particularly cleaning is a hell of a business for hotel industry or for hospitality industries that Airbnb avoids, because the homeowner takes the responsibility. Including apartment castles, means Airbnb actually gives variety of properties to customers to book from. Even there are some castles that are available, or villas, or maybe some jamindar kind of buildings, some classical building. So, any kind of experience that travelers can actually get through inclusion of this through listing of different kinds of properties. Furthermore, Airbnb is piloting a new dinner program that lets any host, not necessarily the existing homeowners, any host to invite strangers for dinner parties. Suppose you as just individual, you are not connected to Airbnb at this point of time. Suppose some of you can cook wonderful dishes. Now, you can register in Airbnb that you want to offer dinner to some strangers. So, some stranger will identify you through Airbnb portal and then book dinner on certain day, and you can prepare the dinner. Payment will be made ahead of time. So, Airbnb ensures that these people are coming for dinner. So, you whatever you cook is going to be consumed and paid for, and then eventually you have a wonderful relationship with those guys. If the guys are good, both parties have the same kind of frequency. So, this is another business that Airbnb is piloting. In this program, interested hosts share their dining table and give detailed information regarding the meal, the price and the approximate length of the event, how long the visitors can come and stay. Airbnb retains a share of the receipts, obviously. Now, this new diversification is a seamless product extension. This is what we need to know. What are the takeaways from this business? One is they have the existing registered customer base, so they do not have to really acquire customers. They can reach out to the whole list of 15 million homeowners, number one, and then so many 1.5 million and so many customers who are already listed. They can definitely acquire through word of mouth. Many other people will also come to know, but then they have existing people to come, and then dinner and home, they are kind of so much highly related. So, this is a seamless product extension. They do not have to really come for a new branding, new customer acquisition, new kind of advertisement, nothing. It is almost like Amazon coming away from book selling online to other and including other products. Thus, it will strengthen their foundation. Maybe more and more people will register for the dinner, and some of them will eventually book some accommodation. So, for Airbnb, it is a multiplication of revenue stream. Earn more revenue exploiting the same infrastructure, manpower, payment system, because payment gateway, they do not have to change the payment gateway, and with a huge ready customer base. It is kind of a self facilitating business. They are trying to promote themselves through the business, because the business itself will take care. Airbnb brand value will play, and other natural advantage, other infrastructure is a natural advantage. It will have another enormous socio economic consequences. Suppose you visit, say, some other country or some other city, and then suppose you are there for 5 days, you may have the option to have dinner with some other guys. So, eventually you network with many people. With some of these families, you will have some kind of your philosophy, your frequency will resonate with some families, and then you can create a lasting relationship with them. So, let us visit the Airbnb business model canvas, how we represent it here. First is value proposition. What value proposition that they provide? They are trustful. The most important part is you belong anywhere. Wherever you go, you will feel like you belong to this place, you belong to that home, the home is your home, something like that. So, you have so much of trust, so much reliable platform. Cheaper option compared to hotels, because it is kind of an aggregation, it is a collaborative consumption. So, everybody consume that kind of inflate the consumption big way. So, it becomes economic. When anything is in volume, you can actually afford to cut cost and offer it at a lower price. Free membership, they do not charge any money for membership, either for guest or for host. There is no account maintenance fee. The host, the homeowner, never pays some money because they are registered with them. 24/7 support, easy to use. So, you can book from your mobile phone or through internet from anywhere, and you can have exotic locations. Suppose you are in any city for that matter, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, or anywhere else, you can, from there you can actually identify properties which is away from the main city, and you can stay there and spend time, because you are on a tour maybe. So, you do not want the hurry-burry of the cities, big cities, but you want to spend some quality time, and off and on you can visit the city and enjoy that as well. Rental of unique spaces. Unique spaces means there may be something like say classical building, some architectural marvel, or something of that kind, some villas or something. So, that is also possible. Use of unused value. So, for host's perspective, they may have some unused space lying idle or partially commercialized. Now, they can use it for creating more value. So, money flow to these people actually increases. So, overall you are giving an enormous value proposition to homeowners, because almost everybody wants to earn some extra money, particularly there are ups and downs all the time. So, you are going to earn some extra money. So, eventually it adds to the increase in GDP as well. It adds to consumption, it adds to GDP growth, etc. Property insurance cover, they give property insurance to the homeowners. So, this whole thing is either addressed to the guests or addressed to the host. Uniquely for Airbnb, there are two sets of customers. One is the homeowners, they are also customers because they are paying revenue to Airbnb. The guests, who are also paying to Airbnb something like 6 to 12% of the booking fee. So, they are also customer, and the homeowners is paying something like 3% of the booking fee. So, both are customer, from both they are getting revenue. Who are the customer segment? Normally it is referred to as desegmented customer, because anybody and everybody who is traveling, particularly those who are frequent travelers, they are the individuals who are their customer segment. So, the whole world in 190 countries, there is no geographical boundary for Airbnb. This is very unique for them. Otherwise, having this kind of a open geographic area for segmentation is very difficult to get. Then people who want to rent out their space. So, that is the other side of this customer. One is the traveler, another is the customer, whosoever have some space. That apart, suppose you are a businessman looking for an opportunity, you do not have a house to rent. Now, you have money on your disposal. So, you can buy or renovate an existing space, or you can buy some new flat and then start a business. You do not have to advertise, you do not have to build brand or anything, you do not have to build trust also. You will create that within no time, because customers will come and then they will write a wonderful review if your behavior is good, if your hospitality is good quality. So, you get everything done without much effort. So, that may be another customer segment for, means not necessarily the homeowners, but if some businessman wants to buy a property and not necessarily businessman, some individuals who has money. Customer relationship, how do they maintain the customer relationship? They build customer relationship based on trust. Belong anywhere is a slogan. So, they give that sense of trust that you can go anywhere and get a sense as if you belong there. That is the amount of trust. Storytelling that resonate with the customer. Training homeowners to create best customer experiences. Many times little bit of training actually will make the host a nice host from a not so nice host. They will know the do's and don'ts, and then they will not do whatever, or they will recruit people who are kind of okay with customers, friendly with customers, even though from inside they may not feel that way, but still they will behave nicely. So, that customers will have a better feeling. Then the support team is another who will build the relationship by quick response to the troubles that customer may have. Online and mobile applications. So, it is easy to access both for registering new property or for booking, and then there may be many other things that Airbnb actually are doing. For example, after Hurricane Sandy, they offered free accommodation to displaced people. So, in the process they create so much trust, so much sense of belongingness. This is another story like Huggies. So, it is almost like Airbnb is always there for everybody. So, if you are in trouble, Airbnb is there, something like that kind of a message they have sent across. So, in the way, it is not just the only story. So, they keep on looking for this kind of value creation or this kind of emotion that they can give to customers. It is not only to the people who were displaced and they were accommodated, but everybody reads this story and they feel enamored about Airbnb, the brand. So, the brand gets inflated value moving forward. What is the channel? It is very clear, because you have mobile app, you have website, you have the social media, there is blogs through which people get to know, public relations that Airbnb always come up with. Most importantly, Airbnb encourages their visitors to write their experiences on the site, and then other people come to know about it. Of course, Airbnb will try to show the better ones, so that most people will read them, and then they will feel enamored about it. Through word of mouth also they create awareness, and people come to know. Revenue is very simple for Airbnb. So, for guests, when you are booking some accommodation, depending on the location of demand, they will charge something like 6 to 12% booking fee as commission. Similarly, from the homeowners, they will earn another 3%. So, 6 to 12 plus 3%, that means 9 to 15% of revenue that they earn through this process. Key resources. Okay, the brand is the most important resource, because without the brand there is nothing. The name Airbnb itself sells. So, brand is one of the key resources, and the associated trust. Community of home providers and travelers are definitely resources, because these are the assets which they are exploiting to offer the customers or the travelers to stay. Both are customers, but at the same time home providers are definitely resource. More homes they have, more sales they can make. They can give more options to the existing customers as well. Database of accommodation. This database actually helps them to understand the how they can create more value, connect with them, then send across words when they are coming up with the new offerings, and if they have new products like this dining thing. So, it is very easy for them, because they have the database. They can broadcast the new product launching through that, and everything is automatic. They do not have to spend a penny for that. Relationship with government across the world is very important, and Airbnb actually is fighting to maintain good relations with government, because there are conflict, like hotel industry will always complain, because it's a kind of a cannibalizing their customer base. So, they will always complain that in the same city we are offering at 5,000 rupees, whereas Airbnb with the same facility are offering at a lower price. So, our customers is going away there, we have so much of overhead expenses, fixed cost and what not. So, they may go out of business, that is a fear. So, they have to, Airbnb has to continuously talk to the government that we are actually not cannibalizing, we are offering a wider customer base, we are actually creating new customers. So, we are not catering to their customer per se, we are creating new customers. In fact, some of the customers will go to them as well when they will not find any accommodation with us. We are actually enlarging or broadening the customer, we are empowering customers to dream, to come and visit. They will come, they will visit, they will also sometimes stay in 5-star hotels. Key activities, they maintain the service quality in the homeowners, in the homes, and then they maintain the trust, and they do the troubleshooting in case there is some problem, so that the trust is not broken. Just imagine that somebody is say murdered in some property and becomes the headlines, the brand actually will be getting a hit on valuation. So, Airbnb has to be very careful about maintaining the trust and maintaining everything else. So, and at the end the customer must have good experience when they go out of the house. Experience is all that. Creating technological infrastructure and design, continuously they have to strive to remain ahead and give a wonderful experience even for visiting their website, making payment, everything should be seamless, then only people will think that this is a site I would like to come back again and again. Community management means managing the homeowners, managing on the other side the customers. Database management, data is the most valuable asset for Airbnb. So, database management is very important part, both for existing customers, for coming up with new strategies. Customer service, that is another key activities they have to do, meaning they have to give customer service. Marketing to connect more properties and more guests is a continuous process, that is one of their key activities. In fact, if they can really connect with more properties and more guests, that directly translates into revenue. Activities are directly related to revenues and it gives revenue. Management of international payment system goes without saying, that is how the money comes to their pocket, and that is how international customers are feeling secure that my bank account will not be robbed by anybody. So, whatever I pay, only that much money will go. Key partners, homeowners are the key, one of the key partners, even though they are customers, they are also key partners. There is no home, there is no business. Travel community operators, meaning those people who are diverting customer and who are diverting to Airbnb, customers to Airbnb, and then they are managing some tours, travels. So, eventually travelers will be encouraged to come to some city and then occupy Airbnb accommodation, and then the travelers can charge money to them for sightseeing, as well as they can pay, they can earn some money through commission by bulk booking Airbnb accommodation. Then key partners are bloggers who write wonderful comments for Airbnb, legal institutions where they are fighting cases, investors who are funding them, insurance companies who are insuring the properties that are part of Airbnb, then government across the world are key partners. Cost structure is kind of huge, but then it is not so huge in terms of total cost. Platform development and design. So, that is a continuous process, so that they can evolve better and better. Human resources, their manpower, hosting of website or database server, data management. As I said, data is the most important asset. So, they have to maintain data, its secrecy, its security. So, there has to be multiple databases, maybe 3-4 images of the databases will be maintained across the world. So, that if one database crashes, there are other databases to bank on. So, there has to be again blockchains and all that to protect customer data, so that it is not stolen. If somebody steals the data, then a competitive advantage is lost, customers will complain that our private data are getting stolen. So, all that security has to be maintained. Marketing to acquire more properties, that is a continuous cost for them. Maintenance of the payment system, for every payment there is a cost involved. transaction cost. All other expenses related to manage and maintain the offices in various geographies. Airbnb has offices in many countries. Maintaining the brand itself require money, whether it is public relation or anything else, there is requirement of money. And they have to do R&D to come up with new business model or innovate existing business model, so that they preempt any competition. Commission of frequent travelers and host. So they have to pay commission. Normally they pay, they do not have to, but they come up with some package that if you are a frequent traveler, you will be given a commission. So that is sacrifice for Airbnb. So consider that as a cost. After Hurricane Sandy, they offered this free accommodation, that is also a cost. So building the trust, Airbnb has to incur some cost. So everything together, this gives a total cost estimation or understanding. This presentation, particularly the Airbnb and other things, were in major part influenced by or inspired by the business model gallery.com. So, I have given that reference at the beginning, but here also it is given. We should acknowledge that, because major part has been taken from there. No conclusion. Thank you very much.